Hey, welcome back. So recently I was adding OAuth support for my MCP CLI tool, and I realized there's not a lot of information on the internet explaining how OAuth works in the context of MCP, especially for client applications. So in this video, I'm going to break down how the client protocol works. I'm going to show you some working examples and give you some code that you can use for yourself. And even as a bonus, you can have your own library that you can use for your own agents and applications if you want. So just before we walk through some of the code elements and protocol, let's demo some of this using Claude Code. So to demonstrate that, we're going to go into Claude Code. You're obviously going to have to install that yourselves first, and I'm just going to type in, tell me the pages most recently edited in my Notion space. Now, of course, Claude Code hasn't connected up to Notion in any way, having given it an MCP server at this point. So there's really nothing that it can do apart from search around my site and my file system, which it's trying to do to try and answer the question, because I haven't given it a way to solve this. And now, if I add Notion as an MCP server to Claude, we're going to do a little bit better. So I'm going to do a Claude MCP list. You can see at the moment I have no MCP servers configured, but it's saying do Claude MCP add. So I'm going to type in Claude MCP add. I'm going to put in -- transport HTTP because I want it to use HTTP streamable. I'm going to get it to connect to Notion, and I'm going to ask it to use mcp.notion.com/MCP to access the Notion server. So if I run that, you can see it is now added to Claude Code. And if I type in Claude MCP list one more time, you're going to see that it has now got that. And here's the key thing. It says needs authentication. Now that I've added that, all I need to do is go into Claude. And then, of course, if I type in /MCP, you can see my Notion is disconnected. And of course, I want to log into that. So I'm just going to hit enter, and then you can see status needs authentication, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to click on authenticate. And this is the key part of the process. So the first thing that you can see here is it wants to connect with my Notion MCP, select a workspace. So there's my Notion page. I'm going to click OK on that, hit continue, and then it's now going to connect me up. You see I've got this authentication successful. So now that I've authenticated with Notion, I can ask a query like, tell me a list of videos in my upcoming videos page in Notion. So I have a upcoming videos page in Notion, and then hopefully it should be able to use MCP to go and search for this and then find the query. So yeah, it's saying I'll search for these. It's run an AI search there. It's found my upcoming videos page. And then it should come back with the list of videos. There you go, how OAuth works with MCP, which is this video, Fluent Tools and Automating LinkedIn Posts. So if I open up my browser for a second, there's the upcoming videos page and the 3 posts that we mentioned. So we know that that's working okay. And that's possible because of the authentication mechanism that I had. So it's able to access my account. So that's how it works with Claude Code. But of course, this works with any MCP client. So as I said, I was adding this to my MCP CLI tool. So we're going to use that for a second. I'm going to slow down and walk through this a little bit more, and then we'll get into some of the code. So you see here UVX MCP-CLI. So very similar. Rather than using Claude Code, I'm using MCP CLI. I'm going to connect to the Notion server, so I automatically bundle the Notion server config within there, so you don't need to type in the MCP URL, etc. I'm going to say my provider is OpenAI and the model's GPT-5 Mini. So we're going to connect here, and then like the previous example with Claude Code, it goes straight into this connect with Notion MCP. Now, if I were to look at the server config for MCP CLI, then, and we'll just do that for a second, you will notice that there is nothing in the server config that has any tokens because it's OAuth, and there's nothing that tells it how to go and authenticate. The only thing it knows is the URL. And that's probably the first part of this step, is that it needs to go and do discovery. So the first question, when it goes and connects to your MCP server, so notion.com MCP, then it's basically ask a question, which is a question of discovery. How do I authenticate you? And then what it will come back with is a list of OAuth endpoints and capabilities that it has, and then tells you how you can go and connect. So Once it's done that, the client therefore then knows where to connect to, where the OAuth server is, and then it can make that call so you can do that space. The second thing that happens, and we'll demonstrate this a little bit later on, is that the client needs to register itself as a client. So remember, it knows nothing about MCP CLI or Claude Code at this stage. So this is where this feature called dynamic client registration comes in. So what will happen is the client makes the call, does the discovery to realize where it is, and then the next thing it's going to say is, I like to register as a client, and then it's going to come back with a dynamically registered client ID. And therefore, at that point, anytime the client is connecting, it is going to send that client ID as part of the request. Then this is where the authorization part comes in, where it's going to open up that browser. And this is exactly what you saw before. You see it's running on Notion site, and then it's saying connect with Notion MCP. I can select my workspace, I can do the login, etc. And then I'm going to click continue. And when I click continue here, then this is where you're going to get this callback. So now that that's authorized, you can see in here that the server is making a call to my local callback page, and you see it's passed in this code there, so it's passed the code through. So that's the big thing. Once it's done the authorization, it's sending back this code to go back to the browser. So if we look at the official protocol spec diagram for a second, hopefully this will all start to kind of make sense of where we are. So the client made the request. So client made a request without a token. That's what we said. It called notion.com there. And then this is where discovery was happening with our MCP server. So get resource metadata URI, etc. And then you can see it's accessing this well-known OAuth protected resource MCP. We'll break down that a little bit later on. So it goes back and forward a little bit to go and find where it's going to call. And then eventually it makes the call to get authorization server metadata endpoint. So it's going to go and call the authorization server. So that's what we saw a little bit earlier. So you go through that whole authorization. This is my Notion account. Click yes, etc. And then eventually it's going to send back via callback a code. So you get that code there. That is this page that we are seeing here on the callback. So authorization successful. There's that code getting passed through, and it's saying I can close the window and return to the terminal. And then it's going to make a token request, and it's going to get eventually an access token. And that access token is the permission it needs. And then basically the client is going to store that. And then from then on, it can just pass that through as a bearer token like any other connection. Now I'll show you from a code perspective in a second. But now if I come back into MCP CLI, I can select my tools, and then I can ask the same question that I asked in Claude Code. Tell me a list of videos in my upcoming videos page in Notion. And then if I run that, we are going to hopefully get the same sort of responses we got from Claude Code. So as you can see there, it's making the call. It's looked for my upcoming videos. So it's got a whole bunch of other videos that are happening there. So there we go. You can see there, it's giving me a bit of a query. What do I prefer? Do you want a database thing or whatever? And I've just said, give me the full list. I don't care. And then as you see, the first thing it's done there, it's done a Notion search. It's found the upcoming videos in the list. It's went through all of that. And once it's got that, it's done the Notion fetch. So exactly the same as Claude Code. The first thing is it did a search for the Notion search for the upcoming videos. And then it's called Notion fetch. And then it's got my list of 3 items as we did before. So that's how that works. But the key thing is you can see that it's not accessing anybody else's pages. It's only accessing my pages and the permissions that I've given. And the reason it's doing that is it's passing that bearer token it received when it did the initial communication. So the good news in MCP CLI is when I reconnect back in, that token is stored in my tokens, in keychain, etc. And therefore I can just access it later. I don't need to make that authentication step again unless the token needs refreshed. And there you go, it's now logged back in. And if I ask the same question there, tell me a list of videos in the upcoming video pages in Notion. The key thing is I don't need to authenticate. It's already got that token. It's not needing to prompt me. And there you can see it came back with the exact same result one more time. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of that. And this time I'm going to start to look a little bit more at the libraries involved there. So if I do UVX chuk-mcp-client-oauth, and this library is available on my GitHub. I'll put that link in the description. And then I'm just going to type in auth. So I want it to do an authorization, and I want it to connect to Notion. And then I'm just going to pass in the mcp.notion.com /MCP. So if we just run that here for a second, this gives you a little bit more clue of the flow there. So you can see they're authenticating with Notion, server URL, MCP, and then the scopes is read and write is by default. And then it says start an OAuth flow. This will open your browser for authorization. So again, I'm just going to click on this. And then it says authorization successful. So that's good. I can close this window. And then I come back here and you see here, there's the access token, right, that we sent. So eventually it sent me back this access token. The token type is bearer, and then it expires in basically 3,600 seconds. And then it gives me a refresh token as well. And then, as I said, the token is being saved to secure storage. So if I were to run that query one more time, just like the last time, it doesn't need to do the authentication again because it's in the keychain storage. If I wanted to see the token again, what I could do with this library is I could just type in get rather than auth. And then you can see there found valid tokens, and then it gives you a redacted version, but you can see your bearer token, you can see the status. And then again, as I kept saying there, remember what I said about authorization header? Once you've got that token, you're just making a standard client call, and you're using that bearer token with an expiry on there. So that's the magic that's happening during authorization. Is you go, you do your login, there's a little bit of a challenge back and forward, you get a code, and then it gets stored in the library. So I'm gonna show you what the code looks like. It's pretty easy for you to get started yourself. So as I said, I've got an empty directory here, so I'm just gonna do uv init. And then I'm going to do a uv add, and then I'm going to do a uv add chuk-mcp-client-oauth. So that's the same library that MCP CLI uses. I've made that available on GitHub, and all the same code is there, and you can just use it in your own applications if you want. And then I'm going to just create a file called quickstart.py. So we'll just clear that, and then we'll open up VS Code. Now it's pretty easy to get started with this. As you can see, all I'm going to do is I'm going to do an import of async IO. I'm going to import in the chuk-mcp-client-oauth authorization handler. So that's the OAuth handler. All I need to do is create the handler. So handler equals OAuth handler. And then I just need to call authenticate. So to do that, all I need to do is call await handler.ensure authenticated MCP. I pass in the server name, this case Notion. I pass in the server URL, so mcp.notion.com /MCP, and then I put the scopes, read and write that I want. And then you can see it's going to come back with authenticated. And then if I want to go and get the cache tokens, then basically the bearer token, then I can just call handler.prepare headers for MCP server. I pass in the server name, which is Notion, server URI, and then it's going to come back with the keys. So let's just run that. So we come back in here. We'll do a uv run quickstart.py, and then you can see authenticated token, blah, blah, blah. Now you'll have noticed it never came up with the browser, and the reason it didn't come up with the browser there is because it's pulled it from my keychain store. So if I just run uvx chuk-mcp-client-oauth and put clear Notion, you're going to see it's cleared the tokens from there. And now if I run the same command, the quick start one more time, you're going to see it's going to prompt me this time. I'm going to select that. I'm going to do exactly what we did before. And now it's connected in. So as you can see, it's fairly easy now to get started. So rather than having to deal with all the details of the protocol, I'm really just doing this handler ensure authenticated MCP now. Now, as I said, this is stored in your keychain. So if I go into keychain access, and then I do a search for Notion, you're going to see there, obviously MCP CLI's got its own namespace there, but the key one we're looking for is the one that's called chuk-auth. That's the generic server name that we use there. And as you can see, Notion is stored within there. So it's all part of Keychain, and it's nice and secure. And what I've added into this client library, there's also support for things like encrypted files, etc. There's also support for things like HashiCorp Vault, or if in Unix, there's safe storage, etc. And Windows, their version as well. So all of that's taken care of for you. So now that we've authenticated, what we want to be able to do is obviously list tools and call tools. Now, in this particular case, I don't want to use any particular framework. I'm not even going to use any of my own frameworks. What I want to be able to do is just use pure JSON RPC to be able to call and get the request there. So in this case, you can see I'm going to do initialize an MCP session there. It's going to pass through some JSON RPC through there. So that's pure MCP. And then once it's initialized, you're going to get this MCP session ID back. So I've initialized my connection. I'm going to store that session ID here. And then via the handle, I'm going to make an authenticated request. I'm just going to pass through the JSON again. So the first time I did initialization JSON. And in this case, I'm going to pass through a notifications initialized back there. So I've just said I've initialized and here's my MCP session ID. And then the next thing I'm going to do is call give me a tools list. So I'm passing JSON RPC tools list. I pass through my session ID again. And then note here, I'm just automatically adding that bearer token as part of authenticated requests. Now, in reality, you're not going to be manually putting in JSON. You're going to be using an MCP framework, whether that's a fast MCP, whether that's a LangChain, whether that's chuk-mcp. That's really sort of up to you there. But you can see all I'm doing is passing JSON recalls there. And the key thing is from this point onwards, it's just the bearer token that is in the key storage. And then after that, we're going to make the call. You see it's found the Notion tools. And then we're good. So if I save this and if I run uv-run tokens.py, you can see it's going to go and list the tools. And there you go. It's came back with a list of tools. You see Notion search, create pages, etc., move pages, all the same tools that you saw available in Claude Code and on MCP CLI. And then if I really wanted to, I could obviously execute the tools as well. So far we've done the listing of the tools. Now we're going to do the execution of the tools. And in all honesty, execution of the tools works in the exact same way as the listing of the tools. Rather than sending a tools list, you're just going to be sending an execute against the particular tool. So you can see here in the query, it's listing the tools, and now it's going to execute the Notion search tool, and then it'll come back with some responses. And there you go. At the bottom there, you can see executing Notion search tool to executed return one content item. So again, and then it's passed through the bearer token that I said there. So it's just done everything that we said it was going to do there. Again, that code is available on the GitHub. You can go and look at that, etc. But I think you get a fair idea of how this works. At the beginning of this is discovery. So go discover what the endpoints is. I'm going to cover that in one more second. Once you've discovered the server that you're going to talk to, then go do the authorization, so do your login, etc. There's going to be some code challenges back and forward, but eventually it's going to give you back a bearer token and a refresh token that you can store in your key storage. And once it's in there, as long as it doesn't expire, you're just going to insert that as a bearer token for future requests. That's basically it. And as I said, I've made a client library available to do that. If you are curious of how it does discovery, then one of the things that we can do is we can just, we'll create a new page. We're going to call this discovery.py. We'll paste that in. And then what we'll do is inspect what comes back. So we're going to call a method called discover authorization server. So I'm going to do a uv-run discovery.py. And this is exactly what's happening in the client library there. And you can see there it comes back with the authorization URL, which is mcpnotion.com/authorize, the token URL, and the registration URL. So again, click on these, and then you're going to see it's going to come back to some real stuff. Now, obviously, I'm not passing through any tokens at this point, so it doesn't really sort of know anything there. But that's how discovery works, is basically looking at those URLs, and then it can get back that information by following the paths. And then you're sort of good to go. So maybe in a future video, I might then show you how this works from a server side, but hopefully you get the idea from a client side that it's pretty easy to utilize this. It's how it works with Claude Code, or how it works with MCP CLI. And then of course, if you want to go and create your own agents and you're interested in how to do this, but not necessarily use the frameworks, then you can go and play with my client library. And again, just go look at the code. It might help you understand how it works a little bit better in your own mind. Anyway, hopefully this video was useful, and I'll catch you on the next one.